Hi everyone, my name is Ian Stewart, and today I will be discussing and reviewing over the dialogue and strategy of what happened in the Chapter 2, Appendix 5 um, example. Um, this is strategies for dealing with the must be right CPs. Um, So starting out in this example, the angry CP came in screaming at the front office and wanting to talk to the AD, and she didn't want any excuses. And then the AD heard the CP, and he was in his office on the phone, so he politely asked the person he's talking to on the phone if he could call them or her back. And then he walks in and very politely says good morning to Mrs. Jones, Mr. Jones, and asks what he can help her with. And she just kept saying, I want some answers, I don't want excuses or cover ups. And the AD said, Mr. and Miss Jones, Mr. or Miss Jones, please come into my office so it'd be a little more private, and she or him wouldn't make a scene. And then he asked the question, you wanted information? And she started using foul language, or the CP started using foul language, and she's like, right, I do. Um, you would too. And then the AD said, I can see something is bothering you. And then then the CP started being all sarcastic and saying, well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. Yeah, I'm furious. Anybody would be if they got treated like my kid got treated. And then the CP or the AD goes, your irritation is really apparent. Can we discuss the cause or causes of your frustration? And then the CP started using more foul language and started blaming things on Coach Johnson. And then he asked the question, Coach Johnson isn't fair. And then CP goes, yeah, Bobby hasn't missed a practice. He does his schoolwork. He never cuts class. He's been on the squad for 4 seasons, and he never gets to play. And so the AD reiterated the question and said, let me be sure what I've heard you say. Bobby is a good student and a good squad member, but doesn't get to play as much as he and you would like. CP goes, yeah. I asked him what he did at practice and says he played scout team. I asked him if the coach said anything to him and he says no. Then the AD says, tell me what you know about Bobby's skills as related to his teammates. CP goes, well, he was a regular when they played middle school ball, and I sent him to summer camps every year since. Then the AD goes, so he was a regular in 8th grade, but isn't playing now as a senior. And CP goes, yeah, the coach isn't fair and he doesn't recognize talent. Then the AD said, what would you like to see happen? The CP said, play him, or at least talk to him. Tell him what he needs to do to get better and play more. Then the AD, have you or Bobby talked to the coach? Then the CP said, well, what do you pay him for? Does he need to talk to kids? Then the AD, we want our coaches to be available to discuss concerns and issues with players and parents. Then the CP goes, yeah, right, that guy isn't approachable. AD, if I understand correctly, there hasn't been any communication. The CP goes, that coach doesn't talk to anyone. And then AD goes, what if I ask the coach to meet with you, Bobby and myself? What good would that do? AD goes, I could ask coach to bring along his charts and player stats so we could see how he compares to the others. And then the CP goes, he's a senior. Doesn't that mean something? And then AD goes, we appreciate his loyalty and hard work, and I'm sure coach appreciates the role Bobby plays on the team. And CP goes, yeah, right, then play him. Then the AD goes, I really would be happy to facilitate the communications you said is missing. Okay, the 5 questions that are at the end of this, I'd like to answer them in my own opinion. And the first one is, what is the root of this problem? The problem is that the CP is very upset that their child isn't playing more, and this could be many factors. It could be the kid may not be very talented, and he could be given his best, but his best just isn't good enough, and that's just how life goes. Um, Maybe some other stuff is going on in practice that we don't see because it could be a closed practice, because we don't see what happens behind the curtains before games. We just see what happens in games. So that could be the root of the problem. Um, and then number 2 is, what else could be done? I think that the AD handled it very, very well. I mean, you can't really handle it much better because the CP is never going to be under control in that situation. I guess what the AD could have done um, is maybe tell him, hey, you need 24 hours to cool down. Come back tomorrow when you're a little more calm. That could be a situation um, that could have been done. Then number 3 is there a system problem that needs to be addressed? Coach, team, or the athletic department? I think yes. I think that the CP should not have skipped the coach. The CP should have um, approached the coach first before going to the AD, because that just doesn't look good on the coach, thinking that he's not approachable or understanding of anything. Because I'm sure any coach would be approachable, and any coach is going to be honest with you. It may not be what the CP wants to hear, but the coach is there to be honest, and the coach is there for the child. What's in the best interest of the child? So I think there needs to be a little better communications between that the coach needs to address in team meetings with their kids um, about if you have a problem, come discuss it with me. The kid needs to discuss it first, not the CP. Um, but there needs to be a better communication between the coach and child and the parent, and then the AD or the athletic department can step in if that doesn't work. What remedy would you suggest? That's number 4. Well, number 4 is, I think, just for an athletic director standpoint, is discuss with the coach um, what needs to be done. I mean, suggestion is the 24-hour rule, like I said, in number 2. That's might be the most effective way. It may not be. It may just make the CP even more mad and could affect all that. And then number 5, if the CP declines a meeting to review data, what alternatives could you suggest? Um, as the AD, I think you could go talk to the coach and maybe have him run a copy of the stats off, and then hand it to the child, and then the child go um, give it to the parent, and then maybe they'll understand, or maybe not. I don't know. Or the AD could talk to the coach and just say, hey, communication needs to be a little better between parent and coach, or child and coach, and child and parent. But the coach does not need to be skipped in this situation. Yeah, I understand it's upset. I've had my parents upset for things that the coach has done when I played, and it all makes sense. But you don't need to skip the coach. You need to go to the coach first, and then if you don't like it, go to the AD. So that's just an overview of the example of the CP that I read on and looked over, and I thought the AD handles it very well. Thank you.